If you're a woman in midlife or beyond, the chances are you've absorbed more myths about aging than you've realised. Last time we looked at some of the big ones, but there are plenty more quietly shaping how we feel about ourselves. The thing is, aging isn't the problem, the beliefs are. And if any of these myths ring a bell as we go through, don't worry, because we're going to replace them with something far more empowering for this time in our lives. If you're new here, I'm Jo Blackwell, and I make videos to help women 50 plus navigate aging with confidence, curiosity, and more ease. So welcome. Let's dive in. Many women think that midlife means that we have a finished identity, that we've got all our stuff together. The truth is that midlife is often a time for reinvention, a time when careers change and relationships shift. Our purpose can evolve, and midlife is the perfect time for that to happen. The latest neuroscience actually shows that we're still evolving and becoming more adaptable as we age, which is the opposite to what we've been told. Your 50s, your 60s and your 70s are far from being the epilogue of your life. They're just a whole new chapter. You finally get to ask, who am I now and what do I want to do with these years of my life? Perhaps like my friend Rachel, you no longer fit the mould of a corporate executive, and it lights you up to coach other women in their 50s through career change. Or my friend Lisa, she turned a hobby into a small business, teaching other people how to crochet. There are so many things that we can do in these years in our lives. So no, we certainly don't need to have everything figured out by now. And we don't want to, really. We want to keep evolving and changing and grasping life with both hands. So that's one myth we can knock on the head right now. And myth 2 follows on from that. If you haven't achieved your dreams by midlife, that's it, you're not going to. There's a cultural pressure that ambition belongs to the young, and it's rubbish. The truth is that statistically, many of the world's most impactful projects are started by people in their 50s and older. People like Dana Marlowe, who started the organisation I Support the Girls. She started collecting bras to send to disadvantaged young women. And this has developed into hygiene products for the homeless and economically disadvantaged young women, refugees. We make better decisions as we age. We're calmer, more reflective and less reactive. So dreams don't expire. They just evolve. So myth 3, you become less relevant as you get older. I've spoken before about not wanting to chase relevance, but what I mean in this context is we are actually the biggest consumers. We are the most powerful consumer spending group globally. We're very relevant to brands, even though very few of them treat us as such. Relevance isn't about your age, it's about your impact. The impact of your presence and your voices and your choices. Your lived experience gives you credibility and perspective. Myth 4 in this list of myths that we need to stop believing is that aging means you become invisible, and that's just the way it is. The truth is that invisibility comes from cultural conditioning quite often, not from our lack of worth. So when women stop performing and people-pleasing, we often become more authentically visible as ourselves. So let's reframe that myth. We don't become invisible, we stop people-pleasing. Number 5, it's too late to make new friends. After all, we no longer have those water cooler moments or those moments at the school gates where friendships naturally form through shared interests or shared life stages. But research shows that older adults actually form deeper, more meaningful relationships as they get older. Personally, I've found that I don't measure my friendships and whether I'm successful in friendships by the quantity of people that I know, but actually the depth and the quality of those few friendships that I have. You have to intentionally seek out friendships when you're older. It's intentional, not accidental. And that makes it richer, because we've made that effort to intentionally find the people that we can gel with. You've probably absorbed myth number 6, which is that our personality is fixed by midlife. That old belief that people can't change after 40. The truth is that personality continues to develop all through our lives. It continues to shift and it often becomes more patient, more open-minded, so long as we keep that growth mindset and not become fixed in our ways and our thinking. So you're allowed to outgrow old versions of yourself. You're allowed to evolve. Those old versions might have served you once, but they might not serve you in the life that you have now. Let them go and let go of that myth. Number 7's a big one. This idea that aging naturally makes you more anxious. Now, going through the perimenopause years, often anxiety is a problem. But as you get older, actually that does start to settle. Now, I know many people say, well, I worry more now that I'm older, and I'm a worrier. I really do relate if that's how you feel. But have you ever seen the happiness curve, the U curve of happiness? Researchers have found that, and I'm not quite sure actually how they measure, happiness, but these measures of happiness that they use are at their highest as a child, and they gradually, as we get older, start to decrease as anxiety comes in. And the lowest point is actually in our 50s as we reach menopause. But you know what? They start to climb again. And by the time we're into our, what we would call old age, they're equal to those happiness levels of when we're children. I like to think of it as a smile. So to knock that myth on the head, we gain emotional resilience as we get older. We don't lose it. Number 8, this belief that our world shrinks as we get older, that too is a myth unless we allow it. Later life often gives the chapters that give earlier ones meaning. We haven't told our whole story, the main story of our lives yet. It's still being written until the day we die. This is the age that you can let go of past regrets, that you can reinvent yourself, that you can make everything make sense at last. So let's forget that myth, that our main story has already been written, and let's keep writing. Myth number 9, this idea that it's selfish to prioritise yourself as you get older. And it's especially common for women who have spent decades caring. The truth is, self-prioritisation, I actually managed to say it, becomes essential for long-term well-being. That old saying, you can't pour from an empty cup, that's never been more true than now. We're entitled to stop when we feel tired. We shouldn't be trying to push through anymore, nor should we put off doing things that we want to do. One day has become less about the future now. One day is now, the future is now. And now is the time to take care of ourselves. And that actually does model confidence for younger generations as well, doesn't it? So looking after yourself isn't indulgent, it's life. Myth 10 is that aging means that you have to give up playfulness. There's this cultural narrative that older women must be serious or subdued. Play is linked to longevity and creativity and emotional well-being. So fun doesn't have a sell-by date. Keep playing. We deserve laughter and lightheartedness. Forget that myth. Myth number 11 is insidious and everywhere. Your value is on how youthful you can look. What a load of cobblers. This reinforces that anti-aging narrative, doesn't it? There is beauty in older faces. There is beauty in experience. We have to get rid of this myth, of this narrow idea of what beauty is, and see wider. The real beauty of aging comes from self-knowledge and confidence, warmth and humour, our depth. So you're not meant to look 30 anymore. And it's a losing game to chase that, isn't it? You're meant to look like you now. That's beautiful. You are beautiful. I see you. Myth number 12 is that only the young change the world. We see youth and energy as that driving force for changing the world, but the truth is that older women are leading social movements. We're starting businesses, writing best-selling books, and experience fuels our impact. We change the world differently, we use our perspective and our wisdom and our courage that we've developed over all these years. We have the time. We do have the energy, and we have the urgency needed to create change. And we also have the time and the love that's needed to support those younger people and to encourage them as they stand up against wrong, as they exercise their right to protest, to demonstrate where needed. We need to encourage them, and we need to be visible in that. So many of the stories that we've been told about aging simply aren't true. They're wrong and they're damaging. They damage our self-esteem, they damage the way we see ourselves, and very often they can stop us doing the things that we need to do, that we want to do, that we could be doing in the world now. I'd love to know if any of these myths resonate with you. Which ones have you carried, and which ones are you ready to let go of? I'd love to know. Please tell me in the comments. I love to read your comments. And sometimes the things that you say in the comments are the things that other people need to hear. So if you've enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and check out my others. And do pop over to Substack as well, where I talk about this kind of thing perhaps in a little bit more depth. You can have emails from me coming into your inbox as well, and stay in touch. I look forward to seeing you next week.